Ooh, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Sports Reality. My name is Jeremy John, here to bring to you all things sports. Let's welcome my man, Matthew White. How's everything with you?
It's going good. How you doing?
Doing well, man. How was the weekend?
It was not terrible. It was pretty good. How's your weekend?
Not terrible. Like, you got to you got to explain that a little better.
I mean, it was raining a little bit on Saturday. I was out driving in it, which sucked for a little bit. But after that, it kind of it cheered up. It was a good weekend.
That's what's up. What did I do this weekend? Saturday, I did absolutely nothing. I think I was home all day. Yesterday, I had a birthday. No, it's not a birthday. A wedding anniversary party for some folks that we know, some cool folks. That was pretty fun. And I watched a little bit of college football. That was about it. It's a big game tonight, if I can remember who's playing. Who's playing tonight?
No idea. No clue.
I have a fantasy football draft tonight.
Is that tonight?
I have something tonight.
Are you excited? Are you prepared?
I mean, I'm always prepared. Stay ready. Who used to say stay ready in sports?
Stay ready, don't gotta get ready.
Yeah, who used to say that? What's his name? Lance Stevenson. Stay ready. Lance Stevenson.
Not a very accurate descriptor for Lance Stevenson, but
his
heart is in the right place.
That was his name. Stay ready. Stay ready. Yeah, I have a draft tonight, fantasy draft tonight. Let me look at the time because I need to figure out, because then I need to be home or somewhere with stable internet to figure out what's happening with that. I'm on the app looking up my time. 10 o'clock tonight. Okay. One of the late ones. Nightcap right there. Let's welcome my man Jay in the building, though. We didn't speak to him yet. Jay, man, how's everything? Good. Before we even start the show, I do want to give a big round of applause, shout out, props, whatever expression of appreciation to the University of Maryland. You know, they beat Texas in Texas on Saturday.
I did not know that.
Impressive. I don't care that Texas has a new head coach and this was his first game. It is the University of Texas. It also was the coach Tom Herman, which everyone wanted last season. So Maryland beat them. And I want to give a bigger plug and shout out, props to the Howard University Bison. Did you hear what they did this weekend?
They beat the biggest Vegas odds ever, right?
Yep. The biggest upset in college football history happened Saturday night when the Howard University Bison defeated University of Nevada at Las Vegas, or UNLV, on the road, 43-40. It was an impressive win. The Bison were a 45-point underdog. Largest upset in college football history. And so if you bet $100, you would have won $45,000. So you get a grand total of $55,000. You get your, I'm sorry. Hold on. I got that wrong. 45 point. Yeah, $45,000 right there. You would have won $45,000 if you put $100 down on that game. And I know somebody who went to the Howard game out there, somebody in Vegas had to do it. And just say, I'm going to just do this for the fun. I'm going to drop 100 and look at God, like they say. So, yeah, man, shout out to them. They're actually right across the street from the studio here. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't out Saturday night, so I don't know if it was like a big thing around here, but that's a big thing. People are talking about it. People are already talking about the coach should be fired at UNLV, and I don't even know if he has. It's only one game. They're already talking about that. Also, Howard University got $600,000 to their athletic program for just taking the game, for going out there. They're supposed to take an L, and man, they didn't leave with an L. So shout out to them. You know who their starting quarterback is, Matt?
It is Cameron Newton's brother.
Yes, Cameron Newton's brother, Kalen Newton, which I didn't know that. I mean, I
had no, I did not know until after I saw the.
But
the game.
Yeah, yeah. This is Kalen Newton's, I think, first game as a Howard Bison, and during that game he played well. If he keeps it up, this team could be pretty decent. Like, they could probably beat another Division I team along the way, because if he's the real deal.
What's the schedule looking like? Who they play next?
Let's look that up right now. They probably play like 2 more Division I or FBS schools. Let me look at that. Howard University. Okay, here's their schedule. Wow, and it looks kind of favorable. The big thing is, if they don't get like their head, like, if they don't get, to like, what's the word? What am I looking for, Matt? What am I trying to say?
For themselves.
If they don't get overconfident, they have a very favorable stretch. They play Kent State. I mean, you can beat Kent State. They play Richmond after, and then they get into the MEAC conference schedule, and anything's possible once you get there. And yeah, so it's very possible. I think the homecoming game is against Morgan
State,
October the 21st. So yeah, man. They can actually have a decent year. Like, they can possibly go maybe 1 loss all year. So yeah. Anyways, let's get right into the show. Let's start off with today in sports history. Today is Labor Day, September the 4th, 2017, and on September the 4th, 1949, the longest pro tennis match in history was played when Pancho Gonzalez and Ted Schroeder played 67 games in 5 sets. The record was broken in 2010. But so it stood from 1949 to 2010. 1953, the New York Yankees became the first baseball team to win 5 consecutive American League championships. Last week, when we spoke about what happened in 1972, we spoke about how Mark Spitz got his first gold medal of that Olympic Games. On this day in 1972, swimmer Mark Spitz captured his 7th gold medal in the 400-meter medley relay event at Munich, Germany. Spitz was the first Olympian to win 7 gold medals. World records were set in his 7 events. That's impressive. 1993, Jim Abbott. Do you remember Jim Abbott, Matt?
The name, yeah.
Jim Abbott, pitcher of the New York Yankees, pitched a no-hitter. Abbott was born without a right hand. He played a decent stretch in the majors. Like, and I think he was on like one of the Team USA gold medal teams that won. So he played a long career. 2002, the Oakland Athletics won their American League record 20th straight game. The A's gave up an 11-run lead during the game and then won the game on a Scott Hatterberg home run in the bottom of the 9th. The game hosted the largest crowd to ever be in attendance at the Coliseum for a baseball game, which was 55,528 fans. And in 2002, the St. Louis Cardinals manager Tony La Russa got his 1,905th Major League win. He tied Casey Stengel for 8th all time on Major League Baseball. And at the time, that was the record at the time. Let's get right into it. Let's start off with college football, Matt. I know you're not a big college football fan, but we're going to get into it and recap some of these, at least the top 25 games, starting off with the Alabama-Florida State game, which it was close for that was the one game I was watching. It was close for a while. Halftime score was 10-7 Alabama, and then Alabama got up 13-7, and then after that, the floodgates opened. Florida State made some crucial turnovers. Special teams from the Alabama Crimson Tide played well, so they ended up coming back and beating them 24-7. And the big news of this game, DeAndre Francois, quarterback of the Florida State Seminoles, ruptured patella tendon in his left knee. He looks like he's going to be out for the rest of the season.
That's not good.
This is one thing. I don't dislike Alabama. Let me just put that out there, because it seems there's this notion that either you like Alabama or you dislike them. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the nation, and typically are the best in the nation. A lot of people in the media and on social media, they see the score 24-7, and they're like, total domination, and that's what Alabama does. I know it was the first game of the season. I was not impressed with Alabama. They did not look good. You know what? And if they played the Clemson team that beat them in the championship game in January, Clemson would have ran circles around this same exact team. Like, they did not look that good. So people keep on saying, oh, they look dominate. They're dominance, and, they can control the ball and things like that. They didn't look good. Florida State just looked really bad also. So far I'm not impressed with how Alabama played the first game, but they won 24-7. Some other notable top 25 scores. Oklahoma State beat Tulsa 59-24. Ohio State beat Indiana 49-21. Number 8, Washington beat Rutgers 30-14 on the road. Wisconsin, number 9 in the nation, beats Utah State 59-10. This was the one that we mentioned earlier. Number 23, Texas, was upset by our UMD Terps 51-41 in Tom Herman's first game as the head coach for the Texas Longhorns. Man, you gave up 51 points. That defense is not good. Now, they actually gave up, how many points did they actually give up? 44 points, because one of them was a blocked field goal attempt that the Terps returned. One thing that I did like about the Terps, their offense looked pretty good. So even though I mentioned the defense for the Texas Longhorns not doing well, the offense of the Terps they look well. You had Johnson, who rushed for 132 yards and a touchdown, and DJ Moore, 7 receptions, 133 yards and a touchdown. It was total domination. And what I liked about this game, the Terrapins easily could have went into this game saying, you know what, we're playing this team on the road. They probably paid us to come out here. And then they start off the game down 7 from an interception return for a touchdown, like less than 3 minutes into the game. The Terrapins easily could have said, you know what, this is what's supposed to happen. Like, we're not really supposed to beat this team. They're the number 23 team in the nation. We're playing them in Texas. And we are not really a good team when you look at the last few years. But they just came back, and they showed such poise in that game, and they won 51-41. Penn State beats Akron 52-0. Clemson beats Kent State 56-3. Miami, number 18 in the country, beats Bethune-Cookman 41-13. Another big game that everyone was looking forward to, the Michigan-Florida game that was played in Texas at Cowboy Stadium. But unfortunately, you had 10 players from Florida that were suspended. We knew about these suspensions. Do you want to know what the suspensions were about?
What was it about?
These wise individuals on the Florida Gators football team decided to, the money that you get from school for books.
Yeah.
What they did was they all claimed that they lost their they would make charges on their account and then all claim that, oh, they lost their card and someone used their card. And so then hoping that the school would then reimburse them even more money to get other things. And it worked the first couple times. But when they saw the pattern that 10 players, like, how did this happen to 10 football players? Not 10 students on this grand campus, 10 football players. Did you all just leave everything at the same place? Like, what happened? But, you know, they got caught up, so suspended for the first game of the season. And this was going to be a big game, but going into it after knowing about the suspensions, you couldn't really expect anything. And these were like quality players that they missed out on, like starters. Most of them started for the team. So the Michigan Wolverines, number 11 in the nation, beat number 17 Florida 33-17. Oklahoma, number 7, beats UTEP 56-7. Let's go to some other. Oh, this game had some people scared. USC, number 4 in the nation, Sam Darnold. You have teams in the NFL that they're saying, you know, suck for Darnold, and you know, tank for Darnold.
Or the Browns could just play normally and get him.
Yeah. USC, they, even though the score says 49-31, it was close to the third quarter. But they beat Western Michigan 49-31. Western Michigan was pretty good last year. Like, pretty good last year.
Aren't they all, like, directional Michigan? Aren't they always good?
I mean, they're in the mix. Like, they win some games.
They get some wins.
Yeah, but they were actually really good last year. I want to say they played in one of the
big bowl games?
New Year's bowl games last year.
Cool.
Number 15, Georgia beats Appalachian State 31-10. Last night, LSU beat BYU 27-0. Last night here at FedEx Field, big game. West Virginia, number 22 in the nation, went up against number 21 in the nation, Virginia Tech. First time they've played in years. Remember, they used to be in the same conference, the Big East, and being, rivals because of location. They used to play all the time, but now that both teams left the Big East and are in separate conferences, they don't play often. This is the first time, I think, in definitely more than 5 years. Maybe 10, but I'm going to be safe and just say 5. First time that they played, and they played on the neutral site here at FedEx Field. It was a pretty good game. Virginia Tech wins 31-24. And the game tonight, the marquee game of the weekend, that is what they call the Chick-fil-A kickoff game. I want to say that game is also going to be played in Atlanta, where sorry, not Atlanta. Hold on, maybe it is Atlanta. Yes, it will be played in Atlanta. That means they're going to have 2 games and pretty much 3 games, because that's where the 3 days, that's where the Alabama-Florida State game was, in Atlanta. That stadium, have you seen that stadium, Matt?
No, is it amazing?
It's really good. Like, when it comes to football stadiums, that one is really good. It's brand new. It has this the retractable roof, but it's not typical, retractable roof where the roof opens in one direction. It kind of opens like a how can I describe it? Kind of like it has different portions, kind of like like a kaleidoscope. That's what it looks like. And they have the scoreboard up at the top in like a circle, so when you're down on the field, you can look up.
Okay, I've seen this stadium. It's dope looking.
It's pretty good. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, of course, everyone knows about Cowboy Stadium.
They have an okay stadium too. Yeah,
everyone talks about that. That's a destination stadium for fans when they know that their team's gonna play the Cowboys. They're like, oh, we gotta go. Like, honestly, there's so many people who are not Cowboys fans that have been to Cowboy Stadium, and that's just how it is. This stadium here is going to be one of them where it's like, we got to go there.
Very similar to the Viking Stadium.
Yeah. And if Atlanta continues being good, then, it will be one of those stadiums that you're like, yeah, we got to go to Atlanta. It's already a large city. So you're going to have fun in Atlanta and then, get to see it. That stadium's pretty nice. But tonight, number 25, Tennessee will be going up against Georgia Tech in that game. So I have a question for you, Matt. Went through these rankings. And
mean anything?
And pretty much everyone who was ranked pretty high won, except Texas, really. And, of course, West Virginia lost, but they lost to a team that was actually ahead of them in the rankings. Florida State lost. They were the number 3 team in the nation. They lost to Alabama. I have a question for you, though, Matt.
What's the question?
Should there be rankings on these college teams before week 1 even starts?
I don't think so. I really don't. Cause you haven't played any games. Like, how can you just you can't be a team off names on a paper. Like, you got to see you guys play together in the actual game. So I think it's a little ridiculous to have rankings before the season starts.
I understand the concept of a preseason ranking, pretty much like a power ranking. Like, this is what we think is going to happen. But I think eventually they need to go away from actually having an official ranking and just kind of do it for like fun, kind of like, yo, this is who we think is the best team in the nation, things like that. But it's not official. And I think it needs to probably be official maybe middle of October.
How many games in is that?
That'll probably be like 6 games.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I was going to say maybe like a third of the way through the season.
And I say 6 because a lot of these powerhouse schools, first 3 games, they're scheduling nobodies.
No, yeah, they're playing Howard.
Yeah, with the exception of, Alabama, where they'll have one of those games be a big game. They're always playing someone the first game of the season. That's pretty good. But outside of them, most of these teams that I just named, they played some teams that they knew they were going to beat and beat bad.
Well, they thought they were going to beat.
Yeah. I think you got to at least get in 6-7 games before you could say, all right, we're going to drop some rankings down and see. And at the same time, that's when you can put out the whole college football playoff ranking all at the same time.
Yeah, that would make way more sense.
Yeah, you just do it that way. And I think it's just pointless to see it. And then people just get so, look at number 3 team in the nation. They just smoked that team 53-0. Well, that's what they were supposed to do. Cause
it's just so ESPN can have more to talk about. They're tired of talking about baseball, and they want to talk about college football.
Yeah, I guess you're right. And you know what? I mean, they are ESPN, and the other news outlets. So obviously they got stuff to do. It's 24-hour.
Oh yeah, they got to talk about something.
So they got to do something, I guess. But yeah, week 1 pretty much in the books. Tonight's big game coming up. Let's get to the NBA. Talk about the trade that finally was official this week. Kyrie Irving officially traded to the Boston Celtics. The Cavaliers in exchange got Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, some big guy that hasn't played for the Celtics yet, but saying there's potential that he'll be good. And
the good part, a first-round draft pick for next year.
Whose
first-round draft pick is it?
That would be the pick that came from the Nets, that originated from the Nets. And the hiccup was Isaiah Thomas, Cleveland's doctors said, he ain't really that good, man.
Still hurt.
Still has a bad hip. So the Cavaliers were trying to get something in compensation. They actually wanted to get Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum.
Impossible.
And the Celtics just laughed them away. They laughed them away.
Impossible.
And they laughed. And you know what?
They got something, though. They
did get something back. They got a second-round draft pick for, 2019 or 2020 or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's 2022.
It's far away, but
it's a while.
They got a second-round draft pick. And honestly, when you're dealing with a player in Kyrie Irving who said, I ain't about to be playing for y'all and I'm about to hold out this coming year.
It's the only thing you can do.
Like, you just got to bite the bullet. And you just
I think that they got a pretty decent return for that.
Oh, I think it's pretty decent also.
Yeah.
And it's going to be pretty exciting. They play the first game of the season. Like,
yeah.
The first
I think it sucks that Isaiah Thomas is not going to. He's going to probably have to have surgery again, and they said that he might be out until All-Star break, which seems that's a long. I could see why they were trying to get another player in compensation, but the the Cavaliers are going to be fine. They still have Rose. They still have LeBron James. Like, they're going to be fine, but yeah, it'll be exciting once the season starts. First game of the season, good game.
It's going to be real exciting to see how LeBron plays without Kyrie, and not specific. And I just thought about it just now as I'm saying this. It's going to be exciting to see how Kevin Love plays.
Oh no, Kevin Love's about to be back out here
because
he's about to get the 10 more shots a game.
Yeah, he's going to get more looks, and he might go back to the Minnesota.
Might have a flashback
where he still get the rebounds, but he's going to put up them shots and he's going to score. It's going to be interesting. Of course, like, you got Derrick Rose. Is Derrick Rose going to be able to last, 60 games a year?
He'll make it through the first game probably.
And then they also got who's the backup point guard? It's
backup point guard.
I'm seeing his face.
Jose Calderon.
Yeah, Jose Calderon. So at point guard position, you should be fine.
They'll be fine until Isaiah Thomas gets back.
And then when Isaiah comes back, you get the explosiveness.
And they still get Jay Crowder. They get their 3-and-D wing defender. They can switch.
Yes.
And that's something that they're definitely going to need in the playoffs. Like, they won't need it during the beginning part of the regular season, but they're going to need it in the playoffs.
Yeah, because Shumpert and J.R. Smith, they don't know anything about switching.
It's just they're serviceable players most of the times, but they severely lack on the defensive end. Yeah,
it's gonna be quite interesting to see how this goes for the year. Also, other big news. Well, it was big when it happened. By the way, your boy Kobe Bryant, man.
Hey, shout out to Kobe. Shout out to the Cobster.
Kobe is enjoying life.
He's living he is literally living his best life right now.
Like, Kobe is so likable right now.
Yeah.
I like Kobe
right now. Kobe has always been this likable.
Yeah. Look, there's been stints in his career where I strongly disliked Kobe Bryant. Then I went to respecting Kobe Bryant to then, you know what? I really like this dude. I really like this dude.
People hated Kobe Bryant for a very long time.
Yeah, I hated him too. So I went from the full spectrum, from hating to just, slight dislike to respecting to now I love this dude. Yo, he is living life right now, enjoying retirement and just enjoying his relationship with current NBA players still.
Because everybody loves him. These kids, everybody in the NBA who's like a star player, they got to grow up and see great Kobe.
That's true.
And now he's on Twitter and can talk to them.
That is very true. This generation, this is their star player.
Yeah, he is the generational player for the kids, and not the kids, but the current wave of talent that's in the NBA right now.
Yeah, if you're our age, 30 and up, we saw Jordan, and so if you're in that 25 and younger, you're kind of okay, Kobe was the one who really was doing it. And if you're kind of right now, if you're a teenager right now, it's LeBron and Steph. But back to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant he came out with some challenges.
Whew. It's amazing.
And in the beginning, I heard some notable ones, but you sent me an article where he actually had 30 challenges for one player on each team in the NBA.
So good.
And it was
a great read.
Very good. Real quick, off the top of your head, what is one challenge, or maybe if you're looking at it right now, what was one challenge?
One of the challenges I'm most excited for is the one he had for Kyrie Irving and the Boston Celtics, was to dethrone the Cavs going to the final streak, or LeBron James is going to the final streak in the East. So I don't know how doable it is, but that would be exciting to see.
Were there any other challenges that you saw that you were just like, you know what, that is really interesting, and I would like to see that player strive for that?
I would love the Andre Drummond be all defensive NBA.
Yes.
That would be good.
Because his defense is not that great statistically.
It isn't. Miles Turner, one of my favorite players to make the All-Star team. That would be a big step for him. It's Whitesides to lead the NBA in blocks and rebounds. Very realistic.
Yeah. Here's one.
Just so many good ones.
Here's one that I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, you know what? I hope because Kobe Bryant said this, that this person would be like, or challenged him to do this, that this person would really do it. And even though he challenged him one time, I hope he challenges him more and more leading up to this occasion. Kobe Bryant challenged LeBron James to participate in the slam dunk contest.
Absolutely. That would be amazing. Like every great in the NBA, in the history of the NBA, like as long as you're not a center, like centers kind of get like, they're exempt, I guess. But like you got to be in the dunk contest at least once. Like you just got to do it.
There was another one that I like, and I'm surprised you didn't bring it up. Julius Randle, the Lakers, shoot over 30% from three.
That would be wonderful.
Because if he does that, he just really stretches the floor.
Lakers will be very difficult to guard.
Yeah. And the fact that he's like encouraging him, like, look, you big man, like I know you're a power forward, but you know what? Step out there. You got a little jumper already. Step out there, work on it.
Kobe probably has seen his jumper like improve over the at least 2 years he was playing with Randall.
Another one. Oh, go ahead.
One. I just saw it. He wants Anthony Davis to demand a trade.
Yes, I remember that one.
That would be amazing.
He's like, bro, get out of there, dog. They ain't doing nothing for you.
They really aren't. Like DeMarcus is like it's a fun addition, but like. DeMarcus, if they don't make it like deep into the playoffs, DeMarcus is gone this next year. Like just gone. Lose him with like no compensation at all, unless they trade him before the trade deadline. Then the Pelicans are back where they were 2 years ago.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like when I saw it, I was kind of like, bro, what you telling him? What you want him to do with you? Hey, I'm about to be out of here. Like, but. He has a great point in the article. There's just not much going on in New Orleans right now.
They're trying to bring Josh Smith in to be like their wing player. Like that is not okay. Josh Smith is never the answer.
Kobe Bryant challenged Carmelo Anthony to leave New York in a hoodie.
Hey, that was fun. Should.
Hoodie Melo is pretty good.
He's unstoppable. Hoodie Melo in whatever gym that is that he plays in is unguardable.
That Sky Fit or Lifetime Fitness out in New York.
Ridiculous.
Man, he's out here. And we all know he's an NBA player. Like, we all know how great he is, but he's looking nice.
Does not miss.
By the way, talking about that, CJ McCollum goes up there a lot.
Mm-hmm. I saw a video yesterday. Melo was playing with Devin Booker
at that gym. I did see
Devin Booker not missing.
Devin Booker looked like, honestly, Devin looked like one of the greatest basketball players I've seen.
I mean, it's very difficult to guard.
And he was out there just balling. Enes Kanter was out there doing what he does. The one that surprised me was Dante Jones. Where I was like, is that Dante Jones? I was like, he ain't balled like that since Duke. Like, he came into the NBA and said, oh, I know my role as a role player.
Oh, no, he's just chilling.
And now at the gym, he's out here like, oh, I'm about to be a star player out here.
I mean, you can tell the difference when NBA players are playing with, like, non-NBA players.
Yep.
There's a noticeable gap in the skill gap.
Definitely. There was another challenge that we saw was Bradley Beal. He challenged Bradley Beal.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
To join John Wall as an All-Star, and
I think he should. It's gonna be hard just because, it'll be harder. Yeah, he could do it. He could definitely do it.
He was healthy last year, And he had a chance.
He was a flamethrower. He was hot the whole year. Every game he was healthy, he was good.
Yeah, and he was in one of those like the NBA vote where the players get the vote. You know who the last player is going to get in.
He was definitely in contention.
He was definitely in contention. If he stays healthy like he was healthy last year, I mean, he honestly should just make it. When it comes
he should. Realistically, this year he should take Isaiah Thomas's spot. Like Isaiah Thomas is not going to be healthy first half of the season. Bradley Beal is, I think, he's very good. He's been playing when he's healthy. He's really good. If he's healthy, should make the All-Star team.
Yeah, and just thinking about the shooting guards in the East. Who?
DeRozan is not as good as Bradley Beal.
No, I think Bradley Beal's a better basketball player than him.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But DeRozan.
The only guards that should be ahead of him are, I think, Isaiah Thomas. I'm not Isaiah Thomas. Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. And John Wall. But
yeah, DeRozan.
After those two, it should be Bill.
DeRozan, when it comes to shooting guards, yeah, be ahead of him. But I just think Bradley Beal's a better player than him. But DeRozan's going to be, because he's the star player on his team, he'll get more votes. And I think people are kind of don't want to vote for Dwayne Wade because they know, okay, he's no longer Dwayne Wade, and he is not on the level of like a Michael Jordan, where it's just like we're just going to put him in just because. So yeah, when it comes to the East shooting guards, Bradley Beal should definitely be in there. Let's get to the NFL right now. Start off with some crazy news. Ezekiel Elliott with his appeal. Yeah, he filed his appeal, and the appeal judge was listening. Hearing the appeal. It was 2 days of testimony. And all of a sudden you hear that the NFLPA filed an injunction against the NFL for a stay on Ezekiel Elliott's suspension, pretty much saying, I'm going to put it in layman's term, when the decision comes out from the appeal judge of whatever decision is made, there's already a restraining order in the courts pretty much saying, you know what? We don't care what you say. We already brought this to the courts, and Ezekiel we will not obey your suspension, and he will be there, pretty much, in layman's term. Now you want to know why that is. Some new evidence has come out. Kia Robinson, the lead investigator for this, for the domestic violence allegations against Ezekiel Elliott, was the only person who spoke to the alleged victim. Out of everyone who was investigating it, she was the only one who actually spoke to the alleged victim. Her recommendation for Ezekiel Elliott was no suspension at all, and she put in her notes, witness was not credible. Story was contradicting. Also, her statements of what she said about ending Ezekiel Elliott's career, and this was the damning statement here. She played the race card. She said, me as a white woman, they would believe me over a black man any day. So she tried to also blackmail Ezekiel Elliott. There's known text messages where they're trying to blackmail Elliott out of money because they have cell phone video of them engaging in sex, and they were going to put that out there for people to see. So all of that happened. All of that information Kia Robinson knew, and she recommended there be no suspension. Well, of course, when it gets to Roger Goodell, because pretty much these things happen where he gets a team to investigate, they give their recommendations, and then he makes a decision. Well, the lead investigator recommended no suspension, yet Roger Goodell suspended Ezekiel Elliott for 6 games. Not only did he suspend him for 6 games, During the meeting where he makes his determination, Kia Robinson was the only person that was not in attendance because they didn't make her known of the meeting. It wasn't that she was on vacation. It wasn't like it was planned that she's not going to be in the meeting. It was
Nobody sent her an email.
It was done covertly. So now I'm assuming, this is just my assumption, she probably reached out to them and said, look, man, I was the lead investigator and this is what I came up with. And she probably felt really disrespected that she did the work. And then you just, stomp all over it and you say, but I don't care. I'm going to do this. So that came out. So Ezekiel Elliott and the NFLPA put a temporary restraining order on the NFL on this. So it's going to be interesting. Like the regular season starts for the Patriots and Chiefs on Thursday, but
it's a good game.
The rest of the rest of the teams play on Sunday. We are 6 days away from the Cowboys playing, and we should be waiting for a decision at any moment. Like
it should be today or tomorrow.
Should be today or tomorrow because teams really need to know what's going on.
They got a game plan. My only issue really is, like, who do I need to talk with to get my fantasy football league redrafted because I did not have the proper information about the suspension?
Oh.
Like, if I knew he was going to get suspended, I'm picking Zeke top 3. This is ridiculous. This
Zeke was definitely going top 3.
That's what I'm saying. How is this fair to the fantasy football players? And Roger Goodell, that's why Roger Goodell probably tried to have him suspended for 6 games. He had an early draft, didn't get Zeke because he thought, or he picked Zeke, and then he's like, oh, I got to suspend this guy now. So he's just trying to ruin everyone's fantasy football experience this year. I don't appreciate it.
So I didn't even look into that aspect. You may be onto something, Matt.
I mean, I don't see how I'm not. At this juncture, that's the only reasonable explanation for him wanting to keep the suspension going is because he wants everyone to suffer with him.
So, you know me, Dallas Cowboys fan.
A little bit of a Dallas Cowboys fan, yeah.
And you remember our draft that we were in?
I do. I think, yeah.
Or do you remember what position that I had in the draft? Out of 12 players, what position?
I believe you were 12. You were 12th or 11th.
I was 12th.
Yeah.
And my first pick was Melvin Gordon.
He's a good football player. Had a good year last year.
And who was my second pick?
Pretty sure it was Ezekiel Elliott.
And everyone was kind of like, bro, he's suspended for 6 games. And what did I say? I said, I have a feeling something good will come out of this.
This is terrible.
It is quite possible that he may not be suspended for a single game, at least for this season.
I don't think he should be suspended. Like, even before all of this came out, I thought 6 games was a little ridiculous. I thought it was going to be reduced to 3 or 4. But at this point, I think it's going to either be 0 or none. One of those two.
So, man, so now, look, let me tell you this. If I hear that Ezekiel Elliott gets no suspension, do you realize I'm winning fantasy football?
Well,
do you realize I'm winning?
Unclear about that.
Do you realize I'm going to laugh at everyone and say, ha ha ha, all 11 of you all who let him drop to me. Ha ha ha.
Your team will be okay.
Some other notable news in the NFL. TJ Ward was actually released by the Broncos and then signed by the Buccaneers. There was interest from the Cowboys to get him, but he decided to sign with the Buccaneers. Willie Snead suspended for 3 games for violating substance abuse policy. Martavius Bryant fully instated by the NFL.
There we go.
Le'Veon Bell made his way to camp, signed his franchise tag tender. So they got the weapons. This will be the first time. Listen to this stat. Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Martavius Bryant, or what they call the Killer Bees because they all got bees in their name.
Killer Bees.
They've only played 1 game together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They've only played.
Martavius got there late and was suspended a whole bunch.
Yep.
And Bell was hurt a whole bunch.
So
the only ones that's always there, the only ones that are literally always there are Big Ben and Antonio Brown.
Yep. So they're going to play.
And Antonio Brown, he's pretty good.
They're going to play their second game together. It's
going to be pretty impressive.
It's going to be lit.
There are some other notable cuts this week. And the Vikings cut one of their offensive linemen, Alex Boone.
Oh, yeah.
To save money, because I think he was if he made the team, I think he got like a $7 million roster bonus. Whew. So, yeah, they got rid of him. Chris Johnson, Matt Asiata, Matt Barkley got cut.
Yeah.
Jeremy Zuta, and Ronnie Hillman from the Cowboys.
Yep, Ronnie Hillman. Also Cedric Thornton from the Cowboys, who just signed a 4-year deal last year. He was
unfortunate.
What's his name? Sheldon Richardson traded from the Jets to the
Seahawks. Looking good.
Seahawks defense, man. Man, they're looking really, really good.
They're trying to flash back to, was it 3 or 4 years ago when they had the best defense ever.
And the Jets in return got Jerome Kearse. Also, DeAndre Hopkins signed his extension, 5-year contract extension. His extension will include the largest guarantees for a wide receiver in the NFL. And
he's pretty. They had to do that. They need to lock him in.
Yeah, you have to. And Matthew Stafford, his contract is expected to make him play his extension, 5-year, $135 million contract. Expected to be the highest paid player in NFL history. It's just the times. His time was up. So now he is, just like Aaron Rodgers, when his time comes out, he will then be the highest paid player in the NFL. And it's going to go on like this. So I'm not really up in an uproar. It's just all about timing. But Matthew Stafford, he's had the perfect timing.
He had a really good year last year.
Not only that, he was the last quarterback to have the mega rookie deal.
The mega rookie deal, yeah.
Where because he was the number 1 draft pick, he got like $70 million guaranteed.
This is ridiculous. He's literally sitting on a pile of money.
And then he's now going to be the highest paid player again, because it was after him. That's when NFL players said, "Look, we can't be letting rookies
making too much money,
making more money than everyone else."
Yeah. It was Jamarcus Russell's fault.
That too. It was Jamarcus Russell's fault and other guys' fault, but then he was the last. It's not that he was bad. It was just like, whoa, this is getting out of hand. $70 million, ridiculous. Off the break.
Cam Newton was the first one that had to play with the normal number 1 pick max now, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yep. He was the first one. So Stafford is there. All right, we got a few more minutes, but I do want to go through some rankings right now. We don't have to give the record or anything. Just where do you think they're going to stack in the division? Let's start with the NFC North, which is the Packers, Lions, Vikings, and Bears. Go from last to first, Matt.
Last, I think Bears last. Then Bears last, and I'm going to go Lions, Vikings, Packers.
I'm going to go with the Bears last, the Vikings third, Lions second, and the Packers first. Let's go with the AFC North now, which is the Bengals, Browns, Steelers, and Ravens.
Browns. Browns last. Browns, Bengals, Ravens, Steelers. I think Steelers will win that division.
I think it'll be Browns last, but they will probably win 4 games. Ravens third. Bengals second, Steelers first. Let's go to the NFC South, which is the Buccaneers, Saints, Panthers, Falcons.
Last, I think it'll be Saints last, then Tampa, then I think Atlanta, and I think Carolina's going to win the division. The same person that's never back-to-backs in NFC South. It's like a rule.
I will go with the Saints last. Then I'm going to go with the Falcons third.
Ooh.
Yep, Falcons third.
Spicy.
I think they were just they were on a hot stretch last year, and just the simple, when I say simple, they were up at the beginning of the fourth quarter, 28-3.
Oh no, yeah, their mental could be destroyed.
Yeah, after that, like honestly, if they win the Super Bowl, I think they're gonna go again probably because the confidence of winning. But the fact that they lost, third place, second place, I'm going with the Carolina Panthers, and first I'm going with the Buccaneers,
you think
man.
The Bucs are gonna win?
I'm going with the Buccaneers. Going with my man
Jameis
Winston.
Shout out to Crab Legs.
Jameis Winston. All right. AFC West, which is the Chargers, the Broncos,
this is a good division.
Chiefs, and the Raiders. Who we going with?
I think the Chargers will finish in last. Then the Broncos. Then I'm gonna go the Chiefs. I think the Raiders will win that division.
That is the exact way I had it. I have Chargers. They're gonna be last in that division, and they're not gonna be bad. It's just
they're not gonna be a bad team.
But be last.
Every team in that division is good.
Yeah, and then I'll go with Broncos. Their quarterback situation is not good. Oh, by the way, Brock Osweiler's back with the Broncos after being cut by the Browns.
That's so weird.
And some reason we still have Colin Kaepernick not on the team.
Yo, right? What is
some reason
on?
not on a team.
Colin Kaepernick strictly better than Brock Osweiler.
We before the show ends, we will get some other teams. We only have like maybe 3 minutes, but yeah. Yeah, I have the same thing. Chargers, Broncos, Chiefs, and then the Raiders.
Marshawn Lynch going back to the playoffs.
Yeah, NFC West, which is Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, and 49ers.
Oh, 49ers, dead last. I don't think they're gonna. I think they'll have some. I think Pierre Garçon and Carlos Hyde will have good years, but I don't. Their team is not going to be good. So I have them last, then the Rams. I think the Rams will be much improved. Then Cardinals, and I think the Seahawks are definitely going to win that division.
I agree with you. 49ers last, Rams third, Cardinals second, Seahawks first. Let's now go to the AFC East, which is the Patriots, Jets, Bills, and Dolphins.
Think Jets dead last. Jets could honestly look like a really good high school football team this year. And then I think it'll go Jets, Dolphins, Bills, and of course the Patriots should run away with that division like the last 12 years.
I think it'll be the Jets, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots. The Jets are tanking. The Bills are tanking.
Is it really tanking if you're bad every year? That's the culture.
They're bad, but it's like they're even making an even more of an effort to be bad. So that's where the tanking comes in.
They're really trying to be bad this year.
Yeah, like they're actually attempting to be bad. And now, I had to put this division last. This on Twitter or on social media, this division is the most talked about, the most anticipated division, the NFC East, which is the Cowboys, Redskins, Eagles, Giants. Matt, where are the rankings? Go ahead, man.
I think the Eagles will finish in last. I know one of your brothers is an Eagles fan. I think.
He is.
Yeah, you're coming in last. Eagles, Giants. Redskins, Cowboys. I think Cowboys will win that division. Especially, okay, if Ezekiel Elliott is suspended for 6 games, Redskins definitely win. If it's 3 games or 4 games, then it'll be close if the Redskins win. If he's not suspended out, Cowboys win the division. But Redskins, I think, are going to have a good year.
I'm giving my prediction with an Ezekiel Elliott suspension for 6 games.
Okay.
So here's my prediction. I still think the Redskins come in last. Kirk Cousins Kirk Cousins has not looked good. He's lost some talent.
It's preseason.
He hasn't looked good, and they lost some talent. They lost Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon. I don't think. Yes, they got Terrell Pryor, but Jordan Reed isn't too healthy.
Bananas.
That defense isn't good, so now you're expecting him to just ball out. and Kirk Cousins just can't ball out. Statistically,
he's about to go crazy. He's about to throw 40 touchdowns right there. So, hey, put a timestamp here. 40 touchdowns.
40 touchdowns. I got you there, right there. We should put some money on that. We'll come up with a bet somehow. A bet surrounding Kirk Cousins. Third, I'm going with the Eagles. Second, I'm going with the Giants. Cowboys going to get BB first. However, I'm saying this with a six-game suspension. A 6-game suspension. I still think the Cowboys win the division with a 10-6 record. No one's winning big in this division. And if Ezekiel gets reduced, if his suspension gets reduced, 11-5. They're not going 13-3 like last year. You have the first place schedule, and then they're playing a tough division in the AFC West and NFC West. So I'm not saying they're going to be out here, dominating like they did last year, because last year they had a last place schedule, so they went 13-3 with a better team. This year, at best 11-5, at worst 10-6.
What about the AFC South though?
Oh, we didn't do AFC South. That's forgettable. The Texans, Jaguars, Titans, and Colts.
I think the Jags are going to be pretty bad this year. I think it's going to be Jags. I think it depends when Andrew Luck gets back, but I think Jags, Colts, Titans, and I think the Texans are going to win that division.
Yeah, I'm going with I go Jags. Then I'm going with the Colts third, because Andrew Luck, he's off the PUP list, but he may not be ready for the first 4 weeks.
Said he's already scratched for week 1.
Yeah. And then second place, I'm going with the Titans, man. I'm going with the Titans. Then I'll go with the Texans. And we have 1 minute left, so real quick before I wrap the show, there's some quarterbacks that ended up getting some jobs, like Brock Osweiler, we mentioned, who after being cut from the Browns, signed back with his old team. I don't care that it's his old team. Brock Osweiler sucks. You have the Bills, who are about to start someone that no one even knew their name up until last week, because their 2 quarterbacks ahead of him are in concussion protocol. You have Andrew Luck, who is most likely not going to play the first 4 games. He hasn't thrown a football yet. Let's think about that. He hasn't thrown a football yet. So how are you going to be ready for a professional football game? We've seen all this happen. We've seen some bum second-string quarterbacks.
Oh, there's some terrible second-string quarterbacks.
Yet, Colin Kaepernick is not on a team. We've spoken about this literally on a weekly basis, but I think
it's ridiculous. It needs to be talked about.
It needs to be spoken about, so at least people realize that this has never been about football. Then you have Aaron Rodgers, who, and I want to read the article. I want to read
next week. That was a good read too.
I want to read the article because, of course, the snippet was, oh, yeah, Colin Kaepernick, he should be in the league, and he's not in the league because of his protesting. But what I want to know is, does Aaron Rodgers actually believe he had a right to protest?
Oh, no, that was also in the article. In the article, Aaron Rodgers said that he stands with his teammates that feel that they need to bring up to get the ball rolling on racial equality.
Okay,
and then he doesn't. He said that he stands for the pledge, but also 100% supports his teammates that do not, because that conversation needs to be had.
Okay, well that's my man then. I'm with you.
Aaron Rodgers did a good thing.
That's my man. Like I said, I wanted to read the article first, because some people, they say the same thing. They're like, yeah, he not in because he protested. And some of them feel like it's wrong that he did it. So, yeah. Hey, man, we got like 10 seconds. So, I want to thank you, Matt, for everything you do. I want to thank you, Jay, for everything that you do. Week 1 is coming up.
Pretty excited.
We'll give our predictions later during the week. I'm going to have to do a special segment somehow and put it out there. Predictions coming up soon. So, yeah. Until next time, everyone, Sports Reality. Peace.